It is good to be back in Houma. We're at Walk-Ons for week 2 of the Tim Rebowe Show, presented by Thibodeau Regional Medical Center. We look at each game, especially this season, it's a brick-by-brick process. You're building something, and each week you see more improvements, especially with your young players. I can't get over how some of these freshmen are stepping up. I know you wanted to come away with a win from San Antonio, but you look at Amani Martin performance of some of these young defenders. Did you expect them to contribute this quickly?
I thought we had a chance, some of those guys, to get in. I didn't count this week how many of them actually played. I know that we talked about the week before, 19 played first time in a college football game. I knew Amani was special, Chris Major. We got some guys that's pretty talented back there. But when you look back, I had been talking about the secondary. I thought we were kind of talented in the secondary before that. So those guys stepping up just started making some plays for us.
Your job, more than anything, it's about variables. You prepare, you plan, but there's so many variables that happen during the course of practice and during a game. I know it's all about the players, but when you're standing on the sideline for the first time as a head coach, does it really hit you then just how many things can transpire during the course of the game that you are in control of, but there's so many expectations going in, there's so many surprises that contribute to each game?
Yeah, I never really thought about it from my standpoint. It's funny because I talked to the team after practice today about I try to control the variables for them. I mean, I'm trying to take some of those out in everything they do, like how we travel, you know, when we stay at the hotel, all of those things. A lot of it, not even football stuff, you know. And then I really don't think about it. The game just kind of flows. Again, like I told you, I let Coach Rybacki and Coach Christopher call the game, Coach Campbell on special teams, and I just try to get out of the way.
We wanted to bring in some assistants and really introduce the whole staff, and it's kind of funny the timing to have Coach Rybacki here. We all sat back 2 weeks ago and watched Jacksonville State almost pull off the upset against Auburn. Coach Rybacki, really familiar with Jacksonville State. It's his alma mater, spent time at Central Arkansas, worked with Coach Rebowe at University of Louisiana Lafayette. Coach Rybacki, welcome on, and tell us a little bit about your background being at Jacksonville State and your football resume.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I started out at Jacksonville State as a player, and then when I finished playing, I started coaching there for Jack Crow, who's the head coach.
You were All-American there at Jacksonville State, weren't you?
No way, not close. So I started coaching there for Jack Crow, and then the defensive coordinator, Greg Stewart, is who I worked for there, and he actually got hired when Coach Hudspeth got the job at UL, and that's how I made my way down to Louisiana.
First impressions of Coach Rybacki when you started working with him, Coach Rebowe at ULL?
He's a football junkie.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he loves the game. He's so knowledgeable. Excellent old guy. And then one of the biggest things I can say is loyalty. I mean, you know, that goes so big. That guy, you want him in a foxhole with you every day.
And you said it about 3 weeks ago when that opportunity finally arrived to take the job at Nicholls State University. You had a plan. You knew who you were going to call. Where did Coach Rybacki rank in that plan? Obviously pretty high, being that he's now the defensive coordinator of the Colonels.
Yeah, real high. He was on the list, and we laugh about that when I called him on the phone. It was like, Tommy goes, yes. So yeah, let's go. I'm ready. So no, it was good. We did it the right way. You know, Coach Campbell gave him the opportunity over there to coach, and we do it. Me and Coach Campbell, friends, go way back. So I made the call and talked to Coach Stewart, who we had worked together, and said, hey, I want to bring Tommy aboard as a defensive coordinator. He said, hey, man, you have my blessing. Go get it. So we did it the right way, and Tommy did it the right way. We was recruiting for him, and man, he got down here and went to work right away. And he was the first one. It was just me and him here in the beginning, doing all the work, doing all the recruiting in December, and getting things going in January.
You two always seem to be brainstorming, and that's contagious with the entire coaching staff. How much of it is out of the office, just conversations? You say that you got to love football. You're always talking football. I would imagine that's where a lot of the ideas and a lot of the sparks originate from.
Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it ever stops from when you leave the office to driving home to getting up in the morning to driving to work.
To texting and going back, hey, let's do this. And I mean, it's constantly. Me and Tommy will get up and go run, you know, and it's ideas and bouncing things off of each other. You know, hey, can we do this? Yeah, let's get it done. You know, those types of things.
Well, it's so unique to be on the road in a Pac-12 venue this weekend, third time in Colonel history that a Pac-12 opponent has been played, but to be in Boulder, they're coming off of arguably their biggest win in maybe 6-7 years, easily under Mike McIntyre, to win in overtime, Rocky Mountain Showdown against Colorado State. Pretty fascinating time to arrive in Boulder and play a team that looks like they're on the come-up.
Yeah, big rivalry game for them. You know that. They played it in Denver. They played it at the old, Mile High Stadium.
Yep.
So it was a good showing for them. Good game. Ended up winning at the end. You know, they're very talented. Obviously, that quarterback, Sefo Lufau, really does a good job. We got to, prepare to stop him. They got some really good running backs. And they got some offensive linemen. They're kind of what offensive linemen are supposed to look like. You know, some pretty big boys, good size. We're going to have our hands full with their offense.
Coach Rebowe, let me ask you this. Going from in Thibodaux, where is that, 10, 12, maybe 15 feet above sea level to, a mile high or so, is there any way to prepare the kids for that?
A little bit. We brought in a doctor this week to talk about that. So some of the things, he's going to be with us on a trip. We're going to go there. Usually when we play, we do our stuff at home. We have our little practice at home. This time on Friday, we're going to go to their field and run around a little bit and try to get acclimated. But, we're treating this and, talking to a lot of people is you just need to hydrate almost like a hot weather game. We need to hydrate, and we'll have some oxygen available for them. So we'll be, we have a lot of guys who played last year when they went to Air Force. So they kind of acclimated about that. And then we have a couple guys from out the West that way who already played, so they've been preparing some of our players.
We're available at 798-1003 if you've got a question for Coach Rebowe. We've got our first of the night, Coach. We said this was going to be a big part of all future Tim Rebowe shows, and we'll hand it to our first caller of the evening for their first question.
I don't have anything up on my message board yet, but we're in anticipation.
Hey, Coach, it's Vincent over here from the Nicholsworth on campus.
Hey, Vincent, how you doing?
Good. Coach, tough loss Saturday. Really hurt to watch. I couldn't imagine what it was like to coach or play in it. You told me in an interview once that your job is to spin things positively for your guys, for your program. How do you keep your guys in the right mindset to focus on the things that they need to focus on when they may feel like a game was stolen from them, like Saturday?
Well, the good thing about what we do is we go to work on Sunday, and we don't take off on Sunday and wait till Monday to do it. So we kind of want to put that game to rest. When we got in, Vincent, when we got in there on Sunday, we had a few long faces. They were a little down. But we had our team meeting, and we looked at our goals for the game on what we needed to accomplish. And one of the goals was we want to win the fourth quarter. We want to get the game into the fourth quarter and win it. It was 0-0 in the fourth quarter. And I tried to tell them it did not matter what happened previously in the game. It did not matter at all. If we just make a play in the fourth quarter, we end up coming on top and winning the game. So when you start looking at it that way, we look at all the positive things that we've done, and we said, hey, we can't blame it on a call or some things that happened. The guys went out and really had a spirited practice, and we had a really good Sunday practice.
Gotcha. And I saw you, you switched over to Landry halfway through the game, and you said today that Toscani is your guy. What kind of things are y'all looking to do to get the offense going a little bit more than what it has shown the last two games?
Just a little bit more consistency. We got to get back again to first downs. We got to be able to probably throw it a little bit more on first downs, and so we can open some things up for us. Give them some little safe passes, some little confident passes, and probably get the ball in some of our playmakers' hands, and then it'll make it easier, in those second and third quarters.
I love the phone calls we're getting. We also have some text messages that we've been soliciting. I think Coach Rebowe actually has a text that he just has sent to him. Coach, you want to read it?
Yeah, it says, what's the hardest part about the move to Thibodaux? And they already gave me the answer, and it was from my daughter, and she says, leaving your daughter. Ha-ha.
That's love, Coach. That's love.
So, Samantha, I know you're listening. I do miss you. Come visit us.
Samantha, you get to text questions every single show. Family's important. I don't think people understand the demands that actually exist. I think that's got to be one of the brightest spots about your career, that you have been able to stay in Louisiana, coach at a high level, coach Division I football, but your family's never been more than 250 miles away.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm very fortunate, and I tell everybody this every day. Both of my kids graduated from one high school. And that really doesn't happen a lot in the college game. So I owe a lot of people, that kept me in Lafayette, and both of them graduated from Lafayette High, and then they moved on to college, and so they still the number one fan.